The night sky over the quiet forest was calm. Stars were shining like tiny lights. No one heard the alien ship entering the atmosphere. It was silent, hidden, and fast. It came from above the clouds and landed far from the old human colony. The trees shook gently, but no animal ran. The ship made no sound as it touched the ground. Inside the ship stood Kara, a tall alien warrior. Her skin was dark green, and her armor was made of black metal. Her yellow eyes scanned the screen in front of her. A red dot blinked on the map. It showed the last known location of a human named Tom. Kara had studied everything about him. Human male. Survived the fall of Colony 9, hiding for years, dangerous if left alive. She picked up her blade. It was sharp, strong, and older than her. She had used it in many battles across many planets. She placed it on her back and stepped outside. The air was cool. The forest was thick. The mission was clear. She came to kill the last human. Kara walked without sound. Her boots left no mark. Her armor adjusted to the forest light. Her people had trained her since birth. She never failed a mission. She believed in her cause. Her leaders said humans were wild, violent, and dangerous. She believed them. She had never met a human before, but she had seen what they did during the war. Her world had burned. Her cities had fallen. She lost her sister in the fight. Now she would end one more human. Tom had lived in the forest for a long time. After the war, most humans were taken or killed, but he escaped. He used an old underground lab to hide. He knew how to stay invisible. He made traps. He hunted animals for food. He used solar power for light and heat. He never made big fires. He never used radios. He stayed quiet. Every day was survival. But that day felt different. Tom saw birds flying the wrong way. He felt a hum in the air. His body knew something was coming. He looked through his old scanner. It still worked after all these years. He saw the signal. A ship had landed, not far from his camp. Tom didn't panic. He packed his tools. He moved to the outer area of the forest where his old traps were hidden. He checked the wires and sensors. He activated the smoke mines. He climbed into the trees and watched from above. Kara followed the signal. It took her deeper into the trees. She moved fast, but something felt wrong. The forest was too still. No birds, no wind. She saw a broken branch that looked fresh, then another, then a set of footprints. Too easy. She stepped forward. The ground clicked. Smoke exploded around her. A net shot from the trees and pulled her off the ground. She twisted in the air and sliced the net, landing hard on her feet. Tom saw it all. He smiled. That was one of his better traps, but not good enough. He had hoped it would slow the enemy more. He knew now this was no scout. This was a hunter. Kara stood still. Her breathing was calm. She scanned the area. She now understood this human was not just hiding. He was fighting back. She liked that. It made the mission more interesting. She followed the smoke trail. Tom moved again. He climbed down and used the shadows. He placed another trap near the river. He wanted to lead her to the old station where he had better control. He knew the terrain. She didn't. Kara was careful now. She saw the river. She scanned the water and found wires. She stepped over them. She moved like a ghost. But Tom was watching from behind a rock. He had switched the wires for something else, a fake trap. The real trap was behind her. She turned and saw the metal claws too late. They closed around her foot, not tight enough to hurt, but strong enough to stop her. Tom stepped out of the trees. He had a stun rifle in his hands. It was old but charged. "Who are you?" he asked. Kara looked at him. She did not answer. Her armor glowed as she tried to break free. Tom raised the weapon. "Stop," he said. "You're not going anywhere. You came for me, didn't you?" Kara finally spoke. Her voice was clear. low and firm. "I came to finish what your kind started." Tom didn't move. "Then I guess we talk first." He pointed the weapon at the trap and fired a weak shot. The claws opened. Kiara was free. She looked at him in surprise. He gave her a choice. "You can fight me now, or you can listen. Your choice." Kara paused. This was not what she expected. No human ever spared her before. No enemy gave her a chance. She slowly lowered her hand from her weapon. "I'll listen," she said. Tom nodded and stepped back. "Then follow me. But don't try anything. I know every tree in this place." Kara followed. Her mind was full of questions. This mission was not going to be simple. Tom led Kara through the thick trees. He walked in silence, moving carefully between bushes and roots. Every step he took was placed with purpose. He knew the forest like his own hand. This place had kept him alive for years. Every sound, every smell, every movement told him something. Kara followed behind, her eyes sharp. Her armor made no noise. She looked around and scanned everything, but she saw no traps, no signs, no weak points. The forest was quiet, but it was not empty. It was watching her. She could feel it. She knew now that Tom had turned this land into a defense. They reached a small slope covered with leaves. Tom pressed a button on a tree. A hatch opened under the ground. It led to a tunnel with soft lights and metal walls. Kara was surprised. This human had built something down here. It was old, maybe from the time of the colony, but it still worked. Tom turned to her. "Go in first. If you try anything, the tunnel will close and trap you." Kara looked at him for a second, then stepped in. The tunnel was narrow but strong. Lights lit the walls. The floor was made of thick steel. At the end of the tunnel was a door. Tom followed and entered a code. The door opened with a low hiss. Inside was a small room. A bed, some shelves, a power unit, and a screen filled with maps. Tools hung on the wall. Food cans were stacked in the corner. Everything was clean and in order. Kara stood still, scanning the place. "You've been here a long time," she said. "Too long," Tom replied. He walked over to the table and picked up a cup. He poured water from a metal tank and placed the cup in front of her. "Drink it or don't. I don't care." Kara took the cup and smelled the water. It was clean. She drank slowly and kept her eyes on him. "Why did you let me go?" she asked. Tom sat down on the chair. "Because killing you would solve nothing. You were just doing your job. I've seen enough killing." Kara frowned. "You're still my target." Tom nodded. "I know." He leaned back. "But now you've seen what I am. Just a man living in a hole. Nothing like the stories your leaders tell." Kara did not reply. She looked at the maps on the wall. Red marks showed old battle zones. Blue lines showed water paths. One map showed the locations of crashed ships. She pointed at it. "You've been tracking everything." Tom looked at it. "Just trying to survive." Kara walked to the other side of the room. A small screen was playing an old video. It showed people laughing near a river, children running with toy rockets, a woman smiling beside a man. "Your family?" she asked. Tom's voice was low. "Yes." "They're gone?" Tom nodded. "During the first wave, I sent them on a shuttle. It never reached orbit." Kara was quiet. She didn't know what to say. Her people had lost much too. She thought humans had no heart, no care for others. But now she was standing in front of a man who had given up everything. Yet he still gave her water. Tom stood up and opened a box. Inside were metal parts and wires. He started working on a small device. "I saw your ship come down. It landed 5 kilometers west. You used stealth tech. Not bad." Kara walked closer. "You saw that?" "I see everything." Kara stared at him. "You're not just a survivor. You're a fighter." Tom shrugged. Sometimes the line between both is thin. She watched his hands move fast, fixing the broken device. You could have left this planet. Why stay? Tom looked at her. Where would I go? Earth is gone. The colonies are broken. I stay because this is all I have. Kara looked away. She had no answer to that. Suddenly, a light blinked on the wall. A motion sensor had been triggered. Tom stood quickly and picked up his old rifle. He moved to the screen and checked the signal. Just a deer, he said after a moment. Kara had already pulled her blade halfway out of its slot. She relaxed and put it back. You don't sleep much, do you? Tom smiled for the first time. No, not since the war. Kara sat down across from him. You act calm, but I see it. You're tired. Tom didn't deny it. Maybe, but I'm still standing. Kara watched him for a long moment. My people sent me here to finish you, to erase the last human on this rock. Tom nodded slowly. I figured that. But now, I'm not sure they were right. Tom raised an eyebrow. Oh, Kara spoke softly. You live with honor. You protect. You build. You help even an enemy. She looked down at the cup in her hand. I expected a monster. I found a man. Tom sat quietly. He didn't smile. He didn't speak. He just listened. After a while, he stood up. You can stay here tonight. One night. In the morning, decide what you're really here for. He walked to the far wall and opened a second door. It led to another small room with a bed and a blanket. Kara stepped inside. Tom turned away and went back to his chair. He sat with his back to the wall, his rifle beside him. Kara lay down and looked up at the ceiling. It was made of metal, old and scratched. But it felt safer than any place she had been in months. That night, she closed her eyes, and for the first time in a long while, she slept. The morning came with soft light passing through cracks in the metal walls. The forest outside was quiet, only birds calling in the distance. Tom opened his eyes slowly. He had not slept, just rested with his rifle on his lap. Old habit. Long. Nights taught him not to trust silence. He looked toward the second room. Kara was still inside. He stood up and walked toward the door. He didn't knock. He just waited. After a few seconds, it opened. Kara stepped out wearing the same armor, but without her blade. Her face was calm. Her yellow eyes met his. I slept well, she said. Tom gave a small nod. Good. I made something. He pointed to the table. 2 plates sat there. One had dried fruit and the other had cooked root vegetables. Nothing fancy, but it was food. Kara sat down. She picked up a piece of fruit and smelled it first, then took a bite. Sweet, she said. Tom smiled a little. First food I planted after the fall. Took 2 years to grow right. Kara looked around the room again. She had seen it the night before, but in daylight it felt different. Not just a shelter. It was a home. It had marks of life, tools placed by habit, a cup always kept on the left side of the table, a small plant growing in the corner near a warm lamp. You built all this alone? She asked. Tom nodded. Started. With nothing. Took what I could from Rex. Learned what worked and what didn't. Kara finished the food. She pushed the plate forward. You live like a soldier, but act like a farmer. Tom leaned back. I used to be both. Kara raised an eyebrow. What were you before the war? Tom was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke. I was an engineer. Designed ships for long travel. I never planned to fight. But when the sky burned, I did what I had to. Kara understood that. Her own story was not much different. She was born to fight, trained for it, but she didn't expect to be part of the final war between her kind and humans. She lost her unit during the last strike. Since then, she worked alone. Tom stood up and picked up a small device from the shelf. It was round and had a broken screen. He handed it to her. You dropped this when I caught you in the net. Kara took it. It was a translator unit, old but still useful. I thought it was lost. I fixed it, Tom said. Your tech is different, but not too hard to understand. Kara looked at the device, then back at him. You could have kept it, learned more about my mission. Tom shrugged. I didn't need it. You already told me everything when you looked me in the eyes. Kara frowned. And what did you see? A person, he answered. Not a killer, just someone sent here because someone else gave the order. She placed the device on the table. Then why do you still watch me? Like I might strike? Tom looked at her, not angry, just careful. Because I've seen peace turn to war in one word. I survived by staying alert. Kara stood up and walked toward the maps again. Her fingers traced one red mark near the edge of the forest. This spot, it's where the last battle took place, right? Tom walked to her side. Yes. My team tried to hold the line there. We failed. I escaped through the tunnels under the station. Kara stared at the spot. Her team had moved through that area during the final push. She remembered smoke, heat, and the screams of both sides. Now she realized she might have walked past him without knowing. We were enemies, she said. Tom nodded. Maybe we still are, but that depends on today. Kara turned to face him. You still think I'll attack you? No, he said. I think you'll choose not to. For a moment, they stood in silence. Then Kara spoke. There's a law among my people. If a warrior spares an enemy, she must give a reason or face exile. Tom looked calm. Then give them this reason. I'm not your enemy anymore. Kara stared at him. Her mind was full of memories, orders, training, missions, all telling her what to do. But none of them explained what to do when your enemy gives you kindness instead of hate. Suddenly, the wall sensor blinked red. Tom turned quickly, checked the screen, and cursed under his breath. Another ship, small, coming fast. Kara moved beside him. Not mine, she said. I didn't call for backup. Tom checked the signal. No call came from here. They're just scanning the forest, probably tracking energy. Kara looked serious. If they find your shelter, they'll destroy it. You and me both. Tom grabbed his rifle and handed Kara her blade from the wall. Then we move. They packed fast. Tom turned off the power grid and hid the entrance to the tunnel. Kara placed a small charge to destroy the maps if someone entered. They stepped into the forest and closed the hatch. Tom led the way, moving fast through the trees. Kara followed without a word. They reached a rocky slope that led to an old mining path. From there, Tom pointed to a high ridge. If we make it to the top, we can see the whole valley. Maybe spot the ship. Kara climbed beside him. Her legs were stronger, but Tom kept up well. He had done this many times. At the top, they stopped and scanned the sky. A dark shape moved fast above the clouds. Kara narrowed her eyes. That's a scout drone, not just a visitor. They're hunting. Tom didn't speak. His fingers tightened around the rifle. Kara turned to him. They won't stop. If they see your face, they'll mark you. Tom looked at her. Then we stay out of sight. Kara gave a short nod. But not for long. Sooner or later, someone will ask why I haven't returned. Tom looked out at the valley. Then we better make sure they don't ask twice. Kara didn't answer, but she stood beside him. For the first time, they were not just two survivors. They were a team. Kara stood on the ridge with Tom. The sky above was gray. The scout drone flew in slow circles far above them. Its path was wide but steady. It had not seen them yet, but it would come back. That was certain. Tom lowered his rifle and stepped back behind the rocks. We can't stay out in the open. We need cover. Kara followed him down the slope. They moved through thick trees and into a narrow path between two cliffs. The forest here was darker and colder. The ground was wet. The air was quiet. They stopped near a fallen tree. Tom checked. A small screen he carried. It showed power levels, heat signs, and a rough map of the area. They're not just looking for you, Kara said. They're hunting something else. Tom looked at her. What do you mean? Kara knelt beside the tree and pulled out her wristband. She tapped it, and a faint blue light came on. A screen opened above it. My people use these when tracking targets. The signal coming from that drone is not only a scan, it's also searching for something buried. Tom stared at the image. What could be buried here? Kara zoomed in. A small red circle blinked far to the east of their location. I don't know. But if they find it, they might not care about you or me anymore. Tom closed his scanner. Then, we need to move before they change course. They walked quickly, moving through brush and roots. The forest was thick here, harder to cross. Kara cut a path using her short blade. Tom checked their direction again and again. After an hour, they reached a wide stream. Water ran fast and cold. Tom took a drink and splashed his face. Kara stood still, watching the sky through the trees. I was trained to kill humans, she said suddenly. Tom looked up at her. I figured that much. She didn't smile. Her face was serious. They taught us that humans destroy everything, that you take planets, poison skies, and lie in peace talks. Tom sat on a rock. And what do you believe now? Kara looked at him. I don't know. You live with care. You saved me. You protect life. That is not what I expected. Tom didn't answer right away. He picked up a small stone and threw it into the stream. I was told aliens had no mercy, that they wanted us gone because we were different. Kara sat beside him. Maybe both sides believed the wrong stories. Tom looked at her face. She had sharp eyes, made for war, but they were softer now, not cold. What will you do when they call you back? He asked. Kara was silent. Then she spoke. If I return, I must tell them I failed. They will not accept. That? They'll send more, Tom said. Kara nodded. Yes, and this time, they will not care about prisoners or warnings. Tom stood up. Then we need to make this place harder to find. Kara tilted her head. You want to fight them? I want to stay alive, Tom said. And I want you to stay alive too. They left the stream and walked toward a broken tower in the distance. It was part of an old watch post from the early colony days. No power, no defense, just walls and shadows. Inside, they found old crates and metal parts. Tom searched through them while Kara checked the roof. This place is dry, she called down. Good for hiding supplies. Tom pulled out an old power cell and smiled. Even better if we fix this. They worked for hours. Tom used tools from his belt. Kara used strength to lift panels and shift broken frames. The tower came alive. Again, little by little. A faint hum ran through the floor. They set up motion traps outside the entrance. Nothing loud, just silent alerts if anything got close. That night, they sat on the roof and watched the stars. A small fire burned between them. No flames, just heat and light low enough not to be seen. Kara held a metal cup with warm tea. She sipped slowly, not used to the taste. You never left this planet, she said. Tom nodded. No ship, no signal strong enough to reach anyone. Even if I could, I doubt anyone would come. Kara stared at the sky. I came here with purpose. I believed in my mission. And now? Tom asked. She looked at him. Now I believe in my own choice. He said nothing, but his eyes stayed on her. She leaned back against the wall, tired but alert. I had a sister, she said. Tom listened. She was brave, smarter than me. She wanted peace, said the war would only destroy us both. What happened to her? Kara stared at the stars. She died in a fire caused by a human strike. I never forgot that. Never forgave it. Tom understood. He had lost people too. Good people, family, friends, those who tried to help others. I'm sorry, he said. Kara nodded slowly. She would not want me to keep fighting. She would want me to see the truth. They sat in silence. The fire cracked once, soft and low. An owl flew past above the trees. the forest slept. "I'll stay," Kara said. Tom looked at her. "Even if it means turning against your own?" She nodded. "They already turned against me when they taught hate." Tom stood up and offered his hand. "Then let's build something better." She took it. From that moment, Kara was no longer a hunter. She was something more. She was free. The morning was cold. A light mist covered the trees. Tom opened his eyes and checked the sensors on his wrist. No movement near the tower. No signs of drones. All was quiet, but he did not relax. Quiet was never safe. Kara stepped out of the tower. She had her blade strapped to her back. Her armor was still scratched from the last trap they escaped. Her eyes met Tom's. "They'll be back," she said. Tom nodded. "We should not wait for them." They packed fast, supplies, tools, maps, and weapons. Tom placed the old power cell inside his pack. Kara carried the motion traps. Together, they left the tower and moved through the forest, heading toward a place Tom had not shown anyone in years. After walking for an hour, they reached a narrow path behind a line of thick trees. A hill stood in front of them, covered in rocks and moss. Tom moved a flat stone and revealed a metal door underneath. He typed a code, and the door opened with a soft click. "What is this?" Kara asked. Tom led her down the steps. Old resistance, tunnel. Built when humans still had hope. We used it to move between safe zones. Inside the tunnel, dim lights flickered on. The air was dry. Walls were covered with old markings and signs in human code. Some places were broken, but the structure was strong. "This is deep," Kara said. "No one knows it's here," Tom replied. "It's safe for now." They followed the path until they reached a large chamber with an old table, chairs, and shelves filled with metal parts. Tom opened a crate and pulled out a small drone. "It still works," he said. He fixed its wings, added a new battery, and launched it through a side opening. The drone flew up and gave them a full scan of the forest. A red dot blinked on the map. "Found them," Tom said. Kara looked at the screen. "A small team. 3 warriors. They're moving in patterns." "They're tracking energy," Tom said. "They're close to the old shelter." Kara studied the movement. "If they reach it, they'll find your gear. They'll know you're not dead." Tom leaned over the table. "Then we stop them before they get close." Kara pulled out a small explosive from her pack. "We don't have to fight them face to face. We can break their scanner, blind them." Tom smiled. "I like that plan." They left the tunnel through the second exit and moved fast through the forest. They stayed low, careful not to leave tracks. Kara moved like a shadow. Tom used the trees for cover. Soon they reached a high cliff. Below, 3 alien warriors stood near a broken tree. One held a scanner. The others searched the area with weapons ready. "They're using short-range pulses," Kara whispered. "We have 5 minutes before they move again." Tom handed her a small mirror. She used it to reflect sunlight into the trees. 1 flash, 2 flashes. A code. "They use hand signals too," she said. "But they won't expect us to know that." Tom placed a trap under a pile of leaves. He linked it to a wire and moved behind a rock. Kara climbed into a tree above the warriors. She placed the small explosive near a branch and armed it. Tom gave a short signal. Kara pressed the trigger. The branch fell and the device exploded with a loud crack. Smoke filled the air. The scanner sparked and fell from the warriors' hands. "Now," Tom said. They moved fast. Kara jumped down and knocked one warrior to the ground. Tom stunned the second one with a shot to the chest. The third tried to run but fell into the trap Tom had set. It was over in seconds. The warriors lay still, alive, but unable to move. Kara stood over them. Her blade was out, but she didn't strike. "They won't stop," she said. Tom walked up beside her. "Then we send a message." They tied the warriors, disabled their weapons, and placed them near a tree with a symbol carved on it. A peace symbol, an old one from Earth. "They'll report back," Kara said. "They'll say a human and an alien spared them." "Let them," Tom replied. They moved back into the forest. The wind picked up. Leaves flew around them. Birds flew low. At sunset, they reached a small ridge. Below it was a lake, clear and still. Tom knelt by the edge and filled a bottle. Kara sat nearby, watching the water. "You could have killed them," she said. "So could you," Tom answered. She was quiet. "I thought mercy was weakness. But now I see it takes strength." Tom looked at her. "We're stronger together." Kara looked up. "I used to believe I had no choice. That duty was everything. Now I believe in something else." Tom sat beside her. "What's that?" She paused, then said, "Freedom." They sat in silence as the sun went down. Stars appeared one by one. The forest was calm again, for now they had peace, but both knew it would not last long. Kara spoke again. "They'll send a full team soon. Bigger, stronger, more weapons." Tom nodded. "Then we'll be ready." Kara looked at him. "We're not running?" "No," he said. "We fight, together." She smiled, just a little. "Then I stay." The stars above were bright. The lake reflected their light. The forest, once a place of fear, now held a small hope. Two warriors, once enemies, now one team. The forest was quiet but tense. Tom and Kara prepared for the battle they knew was coming. The full alien squad was close. Their sensors showed movement in the valley. They had no time to waste. Tom checked the traps they had set the day before. Each was hidden well under leaves and dirt. The traps were simple but effective. They would slow down the enemy, buy time for a fight. Kara sharpened her blade. It gleamed under the pale sunlight. Her armor showed scars and scratches from past fights. She looked at Tom, who was loading his rifle carefully. "We can do this," she said quietly. Tom nodded. "We have to." They moved to a small clearing near an old rock formation. The place was narrow, perfect for an ambush. Trees surrounded them on all sides. It was a natural fortress. Kara stood on the left side of the clearing. Tom took the right. Between them was a fallen log, perfect cover. The sun was setting. Shadows grew long. The air smelled of earth and pine. Suddenly, movement in the trees. The alien squad arrived. 10 warriors armed with rifles and scanners. Their faces were cold, without mercy. Kara stepped forward. "Show them what we want," she whispered to Tom. Tom raised his rifle. Kara drew her blade. The first alien fired, but the bullet hit a trap and exploded in a burst of smoke and noise. 2 warriors fell confused. Tom fired a quick shot, stunning one enemy. Kara ran forward with her blade flashing. She moved like a shadow. She was faster than any human they had seen. Her strikes were precise. She knocked one warrior to the ground, without killing him. The battle was fierce but short. The traps worked well. Tom's rifle stunned or disabled enemies. Kara's strength and skill overwhelmed those who reached her. One by one, the aliens fell or fled. The survivors retreated into the forest, wounded and angry. When the last enemy ran away, Kara and Tom stood together, breathing hard. "We won," Tom said. Kara shook her head. "This is just the first battle. They will come back." Tom looked at the horizon. "We will be ready." Kara cleaned her blade on a piece of cloth. She looked at Tom. "You fought well. Like a true warrior." Tom smiled. "Not bad for a man in a hole." They both laughed. For the first time in a long while, the fight did not feel like a burden. That night, they returned to the tower. They checked their supplies. Kara helped Tom fix the power unit. Together they worked silently but well. As they rested, Kara spoke. "I told my leaders I failed. They did not believe me." What happened? They said I was weak, that I betrayed my people. Tom looked at her, understanding. And you? I chose to stay here, to protect what is left, to protect you. Tom reached out and placed his hand over hers. You are not alone anymore. Kara looked at him, and for the first time she felt peace, not from the fight, but from trust. Days passed. The forest grew calm again. Tom and Kara moved together, patrolling, repairing, and planning. Their bond grew stronger. They shared stories, laughter, and silent moments under the stars. They were no longer hunter and prey. They were friends. They were family, and whatever came next, they would face it side by side. The war was over. The alien ships had left the planet's sky. The drones no longer searched the forest. The danger that had haunted Tom and Kara for so long was gone, at least for now. Tom and Kara sat beside a small fire outside their cabin. The night was cool, but the warmth of the fire made the air feel safe. Stars twinkled above, clear and bright. Kara looked at the fire, then at Tom. I never thought I would find peace here, she said softly. Tom smiled. Neither did I. But here we are. Kara reached out and took Tom's hand. It was a simple gesture, but it held a world of meaning. Why did you save me? She asked. Tom looked into her eyes. Because even when we are told to hate, sometimes we choose kindness. You showed me that. Kara nodded. Her heart felt lighter than it had in years. The long hunt, the battles, the fear. They were behind her now. They sat quietly for a while, watching the flames dance. Do you remember your sister? Tom asked gently. Kara's eyes glistened. Every day, she wanted peace. I will live for that. Tom squeezed her hand. She would be proud. The fire crackled. The forest whispered softly around them. Kara stood and looked at the stars. This planet is beautiful. It deserves to heal. Tom stood too. We will help it heal. Together. They walked back inside the cabin. It was small but warm. Tom lit a lantern, and soft light filled the room. Kara sat on the bed. Tom pulled a blanket over her shoulders. You should rest, he said. She smiled. Maybe I will. As she closed her eyes, she felt something new. Hope. The next morning, the sun rose bright and warm. The forest was alive with birdsong and fresh air. Tom and Kara walked through the trees, talking and planning. They would rebuild. They would protect this land. And they would live, not as enemies, but as friends. That night, Kara slept beside Tom. No weapons, no fear, only trust. A warrior who came to kill had found a home. A human who survived had found a friend. And together, they faced a new future, one built on courage, kindness, and hope. The stars above watched quietly. The story was just beginning.